Let's talk about Alibaba, stock symbol BABA. This stock has been on an incredible run since its January lows, going from $80 a share all the way up to $147 a share, up over 84% during that time. Incredible run, and it just had a breakout today. So the big question is this stock worth buying still? Even though it's already run 84%, is this still a buy? And that's what I'm going to dissect in this video here today. We're going to talk about whether or not BABA, B-A-B-A, is still worth buying. So let's zoom out on BABA. And what you have here, going all the way back to 2022, is this really well-developed basing pattern. You don't usually see basing patterns formed over this long period of time, but it really underperformed the market from 2023 onward. You had this huge basing pattern. This started in a bear market from 2022, and then it really didn't do anything like the rest of the market did. When the market rallied, this essentially still continued to perform worse. But then you had the rally off the January lows that went from 80 to 114, a 30% rally, and you think to yourself, okay, this one's already overstretched at this point. No way it could possibly run higher, but it did. It broke right through it and continued to run and then consolidate for a good period of time. Now, a couple of things I want to point out here is that it consolidated back in late January, early February. You had this nice continuation triangle pattern. Those continuation triangle patterns is where it essentially is a consolidation pattern that continues to narrow until it breaks to the upside. And these continuation triangles are about no more than a third of the overall rally. So this is about a third of this overall rally here. Finally breaks out to the upside. It gives it a nice run all the way up into resistance at 118. You think, okay, maybe it's going to start bogging down here, but it doesn't. Instead, it goes from that breakout level and surges even higher. This time it goes all the way up to 145, and you can draw this ascending triangle pattern that developed over this time. And also, this green squiggly line here, that's your 20-day moving average. And if I just move this line away, you can see where it has bounced off of it on 3 separate occasions here of late throughout the course of March. So now we have this ascending triangle pattern, and you got the breakout here today at 146. Now it's trading at 147.57. So if I'm trading this, I'm trading this breakout of the ascending triangle pattern, and I would be putting my stop loss probably no lower than the last test of the bottom end or the sloping support level of BABA. That would be below 134.34. Now, why not go below here all the way down to 126.10? Because when you start doing that, you're talking about a $21 stop loss. That means just to get a 2-to-1 return, you're going to need about $42 in gains. That's putting you closer to like that 190 mark. And in order to get there, you need a massive, massive rally still. And considering the fact that it's up 84% from the January lows, that's a tall order to take on right there. So I don't want to be that optimistic on the stock. Not saying that it can't do it, but if I'm getting into the stock, I'm not going to presume that it can. So with the stop loss below 134.34, you're talking about more of like a $26 stop loss. And that's going to take you to about 173 instead. Attainable? Yeah, it's still a little bit high for my liking. This isn't necessarily a stock that I would trade just because I don't like how wide the risk is on this particular trade, and we've been in a pretty volatile market of late, so I would probably pass. But I also know that not everybody trades the same exact way. They have a higher tolerance for risk than me. So if this is something that's in your realm, that's how I would trade the stock. And so, yeah, when you look back at it over time, you can also take this breakout level here, and you can take it all the way right here to 2018, where we had that significant pullback. So there's a lot of price level support at this level. And so when it broke through it on the weekly chart, that was a big deal, and it did so on some huge volume. There's also a little bit of precedent for this stock when it comes to breakouts as well. So when you take this, you had a little bit of a breakout back here in 2015 in the early days of Alibaba. And it made a huge, huge move thereafter, going from about $85, $86 a share initially to $108, pulled back to that support level, and then it went absolutely bonkers. So if we follow that, then yeah, you could see a pullback to this 115 level. That's the big concern that I have for this stock going forward. Does it end up having a pullback, and this doesn't really amount to a major breakout going forward, that because it's already rallied 84%, it might need to still pull back to this 118 level. If you throw some Fibonacci's on it, you could say, all right, well, and we don't know how high this one keeps going just based off of today's price. A 38.2% pullback takes you about to a 122. So it could pull back to there, and it would still essentially be a bullish stock. It would pretty much be just putting in a higher low on the current trend. We have yet to put in a higher low considering what it's done since the January lows. So there's a lot to consider. There's a lot to ponder on this stock. From a technical standpoint, I love that ascending triangle breakout. From an overbought standpoint, yes, stock's extremely overbought. It's been on an incredible rally from January. I get a little bit nervous about those mean regressions, or essentially we're going to pull back some. Maybe it's a 38.2% retracement or a 50% retracement. But that is the big risk. Does it pull back from here? Does this turn into a failed breakout and traders get rugged, or does it continue to push higher? I like the momentum on its side, but I don't like the amount that I would have to risk in order to play it. Again, depending on the type of trader you are, this might be an acceptable level of risk for you. For me, it's not. If you enjoyed this video, I'd encourage you to like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on Alibaba here? Do you think that this stock continues to march higher? Do you think it starts to pull back some? Do you think this is going to be a failed breakout of this ascending triangle pattern? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments. Thank you guys, and God bless.